Heather here, Mile 27 Realty. Let's take a seat, shall we? All right, today we are going to talk about the 1% rule for rental property investing and why it is a complete crock of sh. Welcome to 100 short stories from 10,000 long hours in real estate. Okay, so two main reasons why the 1% rule in rental property investing in Dallas, Texas is not really real. In my opinion. Remember the rule to this vlog: take what you like and leave the rest. Of course, some of you watching this have probably found a 1% return. And what that means is if your property is purchased at $250,000, then you can get 1% per month of that in rent collected. So $2,500. Okay, that's like the 1% rule, this language that you might hear on Bigger Pockets and Rich Dad Poor Dad and other rental property real estate investing teachings. And I've been in this game a while. I have friends that do exactly what I do, and it's just not really that realistic. But the two reasons why it's not really that realistic anymore is, hey, the rules have changed, all right? This isn't the good old boys club. Those guys, those girls used to get 1% when it was the good old boys and girls club. But now the playing field has evened out quite a bit. And the two reasons that it has evened out is, number one, the internet. We all have access to the same information, which kind of commoditizes the asset in a way. And the deals that used to be out there are brought to the surface through the MLS and all the syndicated websites, which are like Realtor.com, Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, and all of the sites that you see as the consumer that grab information from the Realtor protected MLS and shoot it out to you, the public. Now, a little history on the internet. Remember, this is 2019, November 1st is today, 2019. So we're almost done with 2019. So the general public started to learn about the internet and make that a part of their lives in like 2001. That was almost 20 years ago, okay? And you have to also keep in mind, like, to give you a little context, millennials are the first millennials that are going to be turning 40. That's going to be like, we're just a couple of years away. So the internet has been around a while. Lots of websites have been created. Obviously, it is a part of our life over the last 2 decades. It's been interjected into who we are. And the Silicon Valley people, they got into the internet even before that, 1995. Scientists were using it even before that in the late 80s. So, and the government before that. So that, though, however, all the websites and all the free information and the free data have been provided to the market. And so we all have access to the same information. I mean, somebody in China right now, halfway around the world, well, maybe not China because the internet restrictions, but maybe in Japan, somebody in Tokyo at this very second can be looking at the same information you are looking at in the market area in Dallas, Texas. Talk about some competition. I mean, it's 24/7 globalized competition. Of course, that's going to change the rules of the game. Wouldn't you agree? The second, well, I don't even want to get into the second reason yet, but still on the internet. And, Zillow came out in 2006. And again, it's 2019. That was like almost 15 years ago. In our market, there was a website called ebby.com. For any of you early adopters out there, you definitely know what I'm talking about. But that puppy took off like crazy, and that changed the game. And that was even before Zillow, and I think it only did either Dallas or Texas properties. But they were one of the first to markets. And you have to also remember you're competing against other tech companies with millions of dollars behind them and their research that happen to be in the world of real estate, okay? Open Door is an example. Hedge funds, Bigger Pockets is an example of companies, maybe they're not buying and selling property, I don't know if they are, but everybody's getting into this iBuyer thing, like Keller Williams, and I mentioned Open Door, not next door. There's another one, something door. But anyway, it's a thing now, and it's a whole nother platform and way to buy and sell property. And these companies have millions and millions of dollars that are funded by investors and seed rounds and all these Silicon Valley startup terms that you, as the individual investor that wants to buy one property, is going to be very hard to compete against. Not only the iBuyer programs and all the digitized tech real estate companies, additionally, you're competing against hedge funds. And hedge funds take Wall Street money and Wall Street ideology and Wall Street connections, and they take a lot of money to the marketplace, and then they go buy rental properties. For a fact, I know that one hedge fund that I worked with during the recession, they didn't even work with the 1% rule, and they were paying with cash. So it's like, if they didn't even do it, and they bought, they bought thousands of properties. I think when I stopped working with them in 2015, they were at like 17,000 properties across the United States. They owned the second largest amount of single family homes behind a company called Blackstone, which owns Hilton and is another huge hedge fund. So how are you going to compete? I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm not trying to be like doom and gloom. I'm not trying to use a scare tactic. What I'm trying to do is tell you the truth. And what I've learned in messages like this is like, these messages are old school and the information hasn't been that updated. And I just realistically think if you're an investor that has a full-time job that wants a property or two or three or four or five or six or 10, the 1% rule is like probably not likely. Now, I'm not saying it's not attainable. It is. Anything's possible. But the reality is highly unlikely, and it's pretty slim in my opinion and experience. But if you want to check it out, you have to be clear about when you do it. You see, market timing is extremely important if you're going to take this strategy, and if that is the deal breaker for you. I just say, when you learn lessons about that rule and all these rules about rental property investing, just take all of that with a grain of salt. It depends on market area, market timing, your goals, your time frame, your abilities, your risk tolerance, all kinds of things, okay? So that's my message on that. And the second reason why the 1% rule does not exist anymore is HGTV. I believe that's another thing that leveled out the playing field, that gave people access to information that they never had before. I can't tell you how many times I have to demythify the truth about what it's really like versus what TV says it's like. And people even get more confused because they think it's reality TV. I mean, it's not real. They have a production team. They plan what property they're going to buy. They know how they want it to end. They have more or less a script in place. And again, I'm not trying to shame, knock down, talk bad about any of the reality TV. It's a fun side time, pastime activity. All those shows, Fixer Upper, $1 Million Listing, Property Brothers, whatever. A lot of people love to watch it, and it inspires and gets people excited about real estate. I love that part of it. But if you plan to use that as a guidebook, I have to tell you, you're going to be pretty upset and pretty mistaken. Now remember, they're taking a project that takes weeks and months in a lot of cases, especially on the flip shows. And again, because they have a production team, because they have multiple staff, because they have experience, because they have discounted vendors, because they work in one market area, etc. They might get it done in a quicker time than you ever could. But you have to remember, there's no way, we can all agree that they never flip a house in 30 minutes, minus commercials, so 22 minutes, right? Can we agree on that at least? Because it's edited, it's created in production, the story's told how they want to tell it. So just remember, the real world is not like that. That is entertainment. You got to look at it in that category. And maybe there's some education, like on what kind of wood product they used, or what the name of the tile that they have is called, like a Harlequin pattern, or laid on diagonal, or pine wood floors, or oak being a good wood for cabinets, whatever, right? But it's not a place to get your education. Those are my 2 reasons why the 1% rule is a complete crock of. But if you figure out a way to do it, let me know. And I'll probably still have some questions for you. Not saying it's not out there. I just want to tell you the reality, okay? That's all I'm trying to do here. Now, so if the 1% rule isn't really real, then what is real and why the heck do people invest in rental properties? A lot of reasons. I ask this question all the time. It's the number 1 question, the first question I ask new clients when we start working with them. Why? Because the why is the guiding principle. That's the way that's going to keep them motivated, keep them on track when things get a little hard or a lot hard. A lot of reasons people have are they want to give something to their children. A lot of times you could build a very successful rental property portfolio that you can hand off to the next generation. And we just talked about the 20 years that the millennials are going to turn from 20 to 40. And that's a great example of how long it takes to build a rental property portfolio of about 10 properties. We call it the 10 and 10. You buy 10 properties in 10 years and you pay them off the second. You don't have to go that approach. That's just a pathway we help our clients achieve if that's what they want to do. It can be constructed in a lot of different ways. Again, it goes back to your why and what are your goals. A lot of our clients prefer slow and steady wins the race pace. They're not get rich quick people, they're get rich slow. And we specialize in helping people get rich slow. Now, so they want to leave a legacy for their family and build wealth, which they can do in a generation, which is about 20 years. They can also, they just want something for their own retirement. That's highly likely. If we start working with a client at 30 or 40 and they're retired by 50 or 60, portfolios there ready to go for them. Another reason is they just have this fundamental desire to use real estate as a tool to build wealth, just in them. They grew up in a house, their parents did rental property investing, their uncle did it, they're tapped out in the stock market, they want to diversify, and it's just really important to them, so they want to pick rental property, something that they can understand and relate to. That's why they build a portfolio. Those are some of the main reasons why people do this. And so those are kind of the why, but then beyond that, like the 4 main ways to make money in rental property investing, of course you have cash flow, the 1% rule, but the goal here is what we always tell people, this is the truth. It's not sexy, but it's honest. And I think that matters in this space more than sexy. We're not here to sell, we're here to deliver. Okay, there's a difference. So as long as it makes 1 penny or more, that's what we say. We're very conservative on the numbers. We plug a lot in, we run it over a period of time that's gonna have some move-ins and move-outs from the tenant. We use a lot of assumptions, but those assumptions are based on our data, our history, our experience, okay? But cash flow needs to be in the positive. We don't suggest taking negative cash flow properties. That's just all there is to it. Number 2 is gonna be your tax strategy, okay? I think that's probably the most underutilized one. So I would argue that tax strategy is the new 1% rule, okay? Not totally, it won't, the numbers don't quite equal that, but my point is you gotta get away from cash flow and you gotta get into tax strategy. I think that's the next frontier. And I'm not a tax accountant, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a financial planner, I am none of those things. Let me disclaim the heck out of this. I am just a girl who has experience doing this with my own real estate portfolio and helping other clients, helping other of my clients build rental property portfolios. However, tax strategy is key and you can work with a tax attorney, a CPA. I made a vlog on why I work with a tax attorney versus a CPA. So I have my reasons and I'm sure you have yours and neither one of them are wrong, but hey, it's a choice. But there is probably opportunity there as you grow and build your portfolio, maybe not so much on property 1 or property 2, but as you build. And then number 3, what's the play? What? Oh, I got a bath today, clean. Number 3 is appreciation. So that's just your kind of appreciation annually each year, but you won't realize that until you do a liquidity event on your asset, which is do a cash out or sell. And then the 4th thing is your mortgage pay down, which is a subset of equity. However, it is a little different. I like to categorize it in 2 spots. That's just how we do it. But I hope this helped. Heather here, Mile 27 Realty. Seeing if my still recording. Okay, it is. Mile 27 Realty. Thank you for watching 100 short stories from 10,000 long hours in real estate. I make these videos to teach you the things that it took me a lot of pain, and a lot of time to learn. And I hope this helps you be better, quicker, faster, stronger, and all the awesome things that I know you are, with hopefully a little bit of leadership and a little bit of me trying to be a good role model for you. If you have any comments, leave them. But remember, nice comments only. This is not the place for negativity or things that don't help us. This is my opinion. Take what you like and leave the rest. That's all you got to do. And if you like what I'm doing here, subscribe to the channel, and that'll tell me to make more videos like this and other tales from the cells and 100 short stories. Okay, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye. Okay, suckers. Let's go. Let's go.